Okay, today we're going to cook curry gravy, which is what you need to make Indian food if you want to make it right, because in America they just can't get this stuff right. It's not like English Indian food or English in England Indian food. I've mixed in a bowl the spices. There's 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of fenugreek seeds, curry powder, cumin and coriander. I mixed that all together. That's a lot of spice. It smells real good. You're gonna need some, this stuff here is minced ginger and garlic. That's about 8 tablespoons a piece, which is, I don't know, half a cup. That's a lot. That smells pretty good. You're gonna need half a cabbage, and I've got 10 onions in there. That's about 10 pounds of onions. This is making a double batch, so if you want to make it half a batch, great, but I'm going to put it in the freezer because I don't want to be making it. It takes a long time to simmer down. 2 red bell peppers, 2 green bell peppers, and 2 tablespoons of turmeric, which I've kept separate because we're going to use some ghee to simmer that down, and 500 milliliters or 2 cups of vegetable oil and a big pot. So I put the vegetable oil in there. I'm going to get that on the stove simmering while I chop this stuff up. It's going to take a little while, so I'm going to pause and I'm just going to come back when it's in the pot. I'm going to dice the peppers up and then I'll talk you through what happens next. Alright, I've got everything chopped up. I kind of rough chopped the onions, sliced them a bit, I chopped them in some bits. And that's because I got a hand blender and I don't really give a crap as long as it's chopped up. I chopped the red and green bell peppers up a little bit. I got the pot heating up the oil. We're going to throw all this in. The cabbage is underneath here in the pot. I sliced that up. That kind of breaks up easy. And we're going to go over to the pot and we're going to start throwing stuff in there and see how long it takes to actually get this curry gravy into a tin, because I'm kind of done cooking now. I just want to drink some beer, watch the sports. Hey, you know what? The COVID kitchen is important. You want to know how to cook curry? Stop asking me. Just watch the video. This is the gravy. It's the most important part of most of the curries because it goes in all of them, nearly all of them. So we're going to move on over to the stove and start throwing stuff in. Okay, the oil is in here and it is heating up. You hear the pan crackling, and I'm just going to pour all this stuff into the hot oil and fry that stuff. There's the cabbage going in here. One ingredient I did forget to put in there was 2 carrots, and I'm just going to dice them in there now in the middle. I still got more onions to put in there, and I'm going to give them a little stir in. Once I get the peppers in there and the rest of the onions. You'll love your onions. Let's get that little stir first. So that all gets coated in. There we go. Grab more onions. There's a boatload of onions. I'm going to cook this till the onions are transparent. It's almost filled this pot, and this pot is big. I use this for brewing beer, or maybe I'll do that on COVID Kitchen and make beer. Not really a food. And pepper in there. Waste not, want not. Let that simmer away. Well, give this a good old stir. I've got it on a high heat just to get it going. Break them onions up. Got see in there. It's going to take a while, probably about 20 minutes. all heated and mixed in there nice. And it will melt down a little bit. Turn it down a little, about number 8 on my electric stove. Nothing like cooking by gas, but I don't have a gas stove. You see, that thing is pretty bloody full of onions and cabbage and peppers. Once it's melted down a little, we'll throw in the ginger and the garlic paste. Leave it for a little bit. Put it on pause and come back. Alright, see on the clock there, that's how long it's took. I'm just giving her a stir. Don't burn your onions, just get them all translucified, which means clear, soft. You're never going to be able to see through them. It's still going. Giving them a big old. See that it's still not quite ready, it's still pretty hard, the onions. There's a lot of it. Did half a batch of this, which would be a normal batch. This is what I would call a double batch. It probably wouldn't take as long. There you go. Of course, my beer. Yeah, here we go. Leave it for a little longer. Alrighty, it's been about 20 odd minutes and it is time to add the ginger and garlic and mixed spices. So I got them here. I'm going to just scatter them in. Throw in the ginger and garlic. Mix that in. Next will be the tomatoes. Get this going first. And it does smell pretty darn good in here. Some people might not like the smell, but guess what? This is what the White House is going to smell like if Joe Biden dies. And that must be a good thing, because it probably smells like old people. Certainly get the smell of old people out of your house. There we go. It's looking real good to me. It smells awesome. Okay, just leave that there for a little bit. There we go. Just been a couple of minutes. I'm going to add the tomatoes. 2 tins of them. Give it a stir in. Oh, it does smell. The ginger now, it's in there. And garlic. It's just fragrant. Spices are going. It does smell fantastic. Lovely jubbly. Oh, that is a pucker smell in your house. Of course, my house is going to smell like this for days because it's winter. I can't open up my windows. It's November, almost December. There we go. Just leave that on there. Got to recycle these tins and hold tight. Okay, I'm happy with it simmering. It's only been a minute or two. I mean, I had to swig my beer and stop filming because shit, what would COVID be without alcohol? I mean, goddamn, we don't live in a communist country. Well, not until 2021, I guess. So now I'm going to add just enough water to cover the vegetables and let it simmer. And I'm going to measure that out. If you don't have water handy, you're probably living in a third world. But it's a COVID kitchen, Most kitchens have got running water of some description. So I just put 2 cups of water in. I'm probably going to put in another cup. So that's 3 cups of water. I think I covered the vegetables. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll probably put 1 more cup in. So that's 4 cups of water total. Here we go. I can't tip the tin over now. I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see it. I'm going to simmer away with that for about 20 minutes. And okay, it's been about 40 minutes, and it's looking pretty good. It's all boiled up, translucent, and here's the trick. If you want to know it's right, if you cut the carrots about 3/8 of an inch thick when you put them in, and they're soft, then it's good to go. Now, if you want to be real tricky and you don't have a hand blender, then what you've got to do is you've got to take all this out and you've got to blend it in a blender, but this is just so much easier. Just to pop your hand blender in the pot. Now while this is going on the other stove top, I've got the ghee and I'm going to heat that up. Now you probably want about 4 tablespoons of ghee or 6 tablespoons of ghee. I just used what I had left, and that is about 6-7 tablespoons. It should be 8 because I'm making a double batch, so normally 4, but that's all I had left. I'm just going to blend this up and come back to you. Now I've got this blended up. You can see it there. It looks like a big soup. It actually looks quite delicious. I'm leaving it on a low heat, but while I'm doing that, I'm also heating up a frying pan with the ghee in. I'll move it over so we can see. Now the ghee's hot. I probably add about 6 tablespoons in there. And it's time to put in the turmeric. Now you put the turmeric in and it just has to change colour. I'll probably want to use a different spatula just to stir it in. See, it's changing colour, it's going dark brown. I want to cover it all and break up them lumps. That's pretty low heat. That's what I've been simmering the big pot on, but it'll take about a minute simmering away. It's pretty hot. You can see that. It's going to darken. Go out a little. Oh, a little darker. And that's about a minute. That's about all it needs. It's darkened right up, thickened right up at the bottom. Turn the other burner off. I'll move the big pot back. I'll pour this in. Scrape what I can off of there. Get it all in there. Put that frying pan down. Now I'm going to mix it in. Here we go. And that's going to simmer. It does take a while. but doesn't need a lot of supervision, which is good. Come in and stir it every now and then, and so it's 2:23. It's been a while I've been cooking, but you know what? It's all worth it, and this batch will probably last me 6 months, I guess. All right, it's been about that long. It's been simmering. You see by the clock over there. I think it's about 30 minutes or so. I don't know. And it kind of looks like a simmering soup. Periodically I have stirred this with my hand blender. There you go. Now I'm going to take it off the heat. Turn the heat off. Let it cool, and then I'm going to put it into the little metal tubs. That is about 2 cups to there. Let's see if I can scoop it out. It is about 2 cups. So one of their metal tins, you have takeout stuff. That probably holds, yep, that's another cup there. To the brim, holds 3 cups. That's what I'm going to put in each one of them. And then I'm going to freeze it and use it to make curries, which will be on more COVID Kitchen. Okay, so now that whole process has made 12 tins of curry gravy, which you're going to need to make some of the curries I make. If you want them to be more authentic Indian cooked in England, as opposed to Indian food cooked in the United States, which basically is shit. I'll stay with it and use some of this gravy in another cooking show, and hopefully if you know me, you'll like it and you'll want to cook it yourself.